From the Paris attacks, who has now been arrested in Brussels. We are now joined live from there by our correspondent, Jack Parrock. Thanks once again for joining us, Jack. Quite a dramatic raid that was, and is it still continuing this hour?
No, the operations down in Molenbeek appear to be purely investigatory, trying to find evidence against Salah Abdeslam. Clearly a legal case will now be put against him, a criminal legal case. We've actually just seen in the last hour or so, him and another man that's been named as Monir Ahmed Al-Hajj, another man that was arrested as part of these raids and also injured, that they've both left the hospital here in Brussels and are now in police custody. 3 other people were also arrested in this raid. They were suspected of hiding the Paris attacker, the suspected Paris attacker, who's been presumably now, we think, in the city of Brussels for 4 months evading capture since those Paris attacks back on November the 13th, 2015.
Now, Abdeslam, as you are saying, they're 4 months on the run. But are the police saying why it took them so long to apprehend him?
There will be major questions asked about the Belgian security forces. If it does turn out he has been in the city this whole time, there was major suspicions, especially back in December. We assumed that he had fled to Syria to join up with many other of the Belgian nationals who have done that trip to join up with the Islamic State. The Islamic State group claimed responsibility for the Paris attacks that killed 130 people in the French capital back in November. But if he's been here, there will be some questions asked about the security forces in Belgium and why he wasn't found earlier. We've heard from the Belgian Prime Minister, Charles Michel. He has said the major operations will still continue, that capturing Europe's most wanted man is obviously a big coup for them and a success, but there are still terror rings, they believe, operating in the Molenbeek district of Brussels where this raid happened, and that those terror rings need to continue to be dismantled.
And what is known at this stage, Jake, about the family that is accused of harboring Abdeslam?
We know very little about them. We have a couple of names that are very non-specific and don't really mean anything to us at the moment. But it is believed that they were family members of him and could have been hiding him for the 4 months in the last period. There's been some circulation on social media that he has gone around 600 meters in the 4 months since the Paris attacks. So there's been some real questions asked about why he wasn't found. We're also hearing some rumours that potentially the apartment that he may have been in immediately following the Paris attacks, which is where the police were raiding, that potentially he was smuggled out in a wardrobe at some point. These are all unconfirmed reports at the moment, and obviously with a story that develops like this, we hear a lot of rumours. But as I said, the Molenbeek area of Brussels has seen many raids happen there since in the 4 months following the Paris attacks. And there will be questions asked of Belgium's police forces. Why wasn't this man found sooner?
And we know that Salah Abdeslam was wounded during that raid. Do you have an idea where he's being held right now, and when will he be extradited to France as demanded by the French president?
So we know he's left the hospital now and is in a police station, and so has the other man, this Monir Ahmed Al-Hajj. But the extradition process, the French President Francois Hollande called for the expedient extradition. He wants Salah Abdeslam in Paris to face charges, terror charges, for his alleged crimes linked to the Paris attacks. It's obviously as soon as possible. As far as I understand it, the agreement between Belgium and France is that if Salah Abdeslam willingly lets himself be extradited to France, it could take up to 15 days, potentially even sooner than that. But if he tries to appeal his extradition, then it could be a matter of 60 days. We'll have to wait and see how he goes on about that and whether he claims. But as I understand it, it could either be 15 or 60 days, potentially sooner if he accepts to be extradited.
All right, thank you so much. That was our correspondent there, Jack Parrock, live from Brussels. And coming up next...